Hey, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Joseph Sokolovic. I'm a candidate for the Bridgeport Board of Education, and I approve this message. I'll be doing a series of short videos explaining why you should vote for me and why you should not vote for the Republican Party candidates. You should vote the Working Families Party straight on. We've got to stop the Republicans from their attacks on our school system and attacks on progress and equity and diversity and inclusion. Again, this is my first video. I just recently lost the primary to the Republicans. I am a Republican, but I'm not the kind of Republican running against the Working Families Party. I am a social liberal Republican, so much so that the Republican candidates forced me into a primary, which I just recently lost due to the following video. Yes. Okay. Hold on while please bear with me while I bring up share my screen. One more second. I'm a novice, as you can see. Here we go. Now, I was leading in a Republican primary. I had enough votes to win up until maybe a week and a half before this flyer came out. Now, let's look at how disgusting this is, and let me break it down. You can see the highlighted part where it says, was part of the woke group that forced the Christopher Columbus statue to be removed from Seaside Park under the threat of vandalism in the summer of 2020. This is problematic on so many levels. This march was led by a 15-year-old child and also another board member that serves alongside me. So Mr. Weldon and Mary Gates and Peter Perillo all foment a lie about African-American females. Why? To trigger the base fear of the Republican Party's right Trump wing. They're trying to foment fear, saying if Sokolovic is elected, he's going to help Black and brown people destroy your stuff. This cannot be further from the truth. And note how they put woke in quotation marks. What is wrong with being woke? We live in a net majority Black and brown city where there's a lot of problems that people are blind to, especially people in the Republican Party that haven't been woke yet. I'm proud to be called woke. I'm proud to understand the problems that face African Americans and Hispanics in our great city of Bridgeport, because years ago I wasn't woke, I wasn't knowledgeable, but I've learned, I've opened my eyes, I've let down my guard and understand now that white privilege is indeed a real thing. So how will Perillo, Gates, and Weldon govern? Will they govern in a woke manner? Will they acknowledge that white privilege is something, institutional racism is in our schools, or will they stay asleep? Or, even worse, are they woke and just don't care? Why is woke a dirty word to these three Republican candidates? Next, it says, I'm seeking the endorsement of the far-left Working Families Party. Absolutely true, and I've got it. The reason I need the Working Families Party is because, yes, they align with some of my woke values, and they are also the only party in the city of Bridgeport challenging the corruption and underfunding of our schools by the Democratic Party of Bridgeport. John Weldon, for one, definitely supports them. He's Mayor Joe Ganem's appointee to the board in 2016. And ever since he was appointed in 2016, he was doing Mayor Ganem's bidding. And also highlighted is supported by the notorious left-leaning city councilwoman, Maria Pereira. I can't help who supports me. I will sit down with anybody in order to try to better our schools, whether I agree with their personal politics, whether I agree with their personality. You got to be able to sit down with anybody and work for the betterment of our children, and I'm willing to do so. And it also depends on the day of the week whether Maria Pereira is supporting me or not. It says I'm not, it goes on further to say Joe Sokolovic is not interested in making things better for Bridgeport Public Schools. He is interested in getting a platform so I can force my far left political beliefs on the school system. This again is meant to trigger the bottom of the barrel of our party. Joe Sokolovic is going to change schools. Joe Sokolovic is going to make our schools better, make it more welcoming for our Black and brown children. Joe Sokolovic is going to push to diversify our staff to better reflect our student demographics. Our children should be taught by people who look like them. Now, John Weldon, Mary Gates, and Peter Perillo, perhaps they think like the far right, that everything should be all white all the time. History should remain the same. We should not learn from the mistakes of the past, and we should not try to change anything that exists today. Maybe maybe the far right wing of the Republican Party is trying to hold on to that white privilege and keep the Black and brown people down where they are. I am proud to be called woke. And last but not least on this flyer, if you look to the bottom, right above the last red shaded area, it says, Mr. Weldon hired a capable superintendent when the previous one abruptly left before our contract expired. Dr. Johnson, a Black female, did not abruptly leave. She left according to the letter of her contract. She gave proper, adequate notice as per her contract. Mr. Weldon has held Dr. Johnson to her contract every step of the way. He was a thorn in her side, made sure the I's and T's were crossed and dotted. But does he do the same for the current superintendent? No, he does not. In fact, he defends the superintendent and recently just gave the superintendent a $30,000 raise. Well, this is just the first video. I will be going into more videos. You should definitely support Joseph Sokolovic on the Working Families Party line and the other Working Families Party candidates, Khalid Muhammad and Jose Lopez. So vote straight line, Working Families Party. Your vote cannot hurt the Democratic Party. If you're a Democrat, throw some votes to the Working Families Party, because otherwise you run the risk of the Republican Party taking the 2 seats that are left over, because 5 people could be elected to the Board of Education. Only 3 of them could be Democrats. They're basically guaranteed the seat with the way the city works. So the only 2 seats really up for grabs is between the Republicans and the Working Families Party. So as many votes as we could get on the Working Families Party line, the better chance to give us to win. Thank you. I'll be following with more videos going forward.